Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Helzie here from SlimmandStylish.stampinup.net. Today is another sneak peek preview of sets that are coming up in the new mini catalogue, which is available to order from the 4th of January. And don't forget, anything that you order from the new catalogue in January or February, you get celebration rewards for. So for every £45 you spend on my store, SlimmandStylish.stampinup.net, starting on the 4th of January, you can earn free products, which is so exciting. Right, with this stamp set, I saw it come up while we were on stage. I liked it, I enjoyed it, and I thought to myself straight away, do you know what, I am going to be blending that. I loved it. So this is the card I have created with it. Lots of blending, but I think really pretty. And I've also done some watercolour splats in there to sort of get that extra dimension into the card. Let me show you how to make it. You're going to need a piece of basic white cardstock that is 10 centimetres by 14.3 centimetres. So it's just under the size of the card. Okay. And then you're going to want a pencil and a ruler. Now, this is where I become sticky. The way I created my box was I actually used this line here in the ruler as a mark for me, and I drew all the way along there, but I'm not sure to tell you how much that is. It's 2 centimetres. There we go. So if I just lock that along there, this is how I do it with my ruler, but you can just easily measure out 2 centimetres or use your grid paper to do it. And just measure 2 centimetres all the way along. Don't press massively hard with your pencil, because at the end you're going to want to rub this out. But then again, you're still going to want to see it. So go in between, people, in between. Okay, so you kind of have a grid around your card like that. Next up, Memento ink and your stamp. So I'm using the grapes. Pop those on a block. And then you want to stamp these around the card, okay? Now, it doesn't matter where you put them, so long as the majority of it's in the grid, but you can go outside the grid with this one. So I'm just going to start there. It's up to you whether you want them close together or whether you want to leave yourself gaps, you know, up to you. Just sort of keep stamping it around with them. So I did 5 on that card. I've done 4 on this one. Really up to you. I mean, you can use any open blending stamp for this. You don't have to just use the grapes. Right. Next up, blending time. So up to you which way you want to go, whether you want to do the background first or whether you actually want to do the detail first. I've done the detail first. I just thought it just shows up a lot easier if I do the detail first. So what I've decided to do is I have got my blends. Okay, I'll tell you which colours they are in a second. I'm just grabbing them all from the side of my desk. So for the berries, I have got dark Blackberry Bliss, light Blackberry Bliss, dark Highland Heather, and light Fresh Freesia. Okay. For the leaves, I have got dark Just Jade, light Just Jade, and light Soft Succulent. Let me show you how I'm going to colour these, and then what I'll do, because I know it takes time to blend all of this in, is I will put it onto a bit of a quickness so that you come back to me and it's all coloured, okay? So what I'm going to do with the berries is I'm going to come in with the dark Blackberry Bliss first, and I am just going to put a line on each of the berries. like that. Okay, I'm then going to use the light Blackberry Bliss, and I am going to just put a little bit of colour towards the middle on the side of one of these lines. Just like that. Okay. Then I've got the dark Highland Heather. I'm going to go over the entire berry with the dark Highland Heather. Okay. And then the fresh freesia, you're just going to put to the side for now, but you're going to want that later on, so just keep it to the side. For the leaves, you've got your dark Just Jade, which I ran up the centre of the leaves, like that. The light Just Jade, I ran up the side and the bottom of the leaf, like that. And then the light soft succulent, I went over the entirety of the leaf, just like that. I like building up 2 or 3 colours with the blends because I just think it gives it some shading. I like it like that. Up to you whether you want to spend the time to do it, but it just gives it some dimension, I think. Right, as I said, I'm going to finish colouring in the others, and then I'll join you when we get all of these images coloured back in. All right, here we go, super quick. Okay, now you finish colouring in the main bits, you then want to grab a dark colour. So for this I have chosen Light Misty Moonlight. Really up to you which colour you choose, but you just sort of want one of them. You don't want the dark and the light, you just want a dark colour. I did contemplate doing this in the basic black, but I actually just liked it having sort of the Misty Moonlight background rather than being black because I'd stamped in black, but really up to you. What you want to do is you want to use your bullet point to go over the pencil mark you did that is not in the stamp, okay? So go around all the edges of the stamps, like that. And then go around all the edges of your box. So across here, you're just going to go straight across there and straight across there, following the pencil mark, okay? If you've got wobbly hands, if you're a bit shaky, no problem. Pull your ruler back out and go along with your ruler. No issue with that at all. That will work just as good. And you want to do the outline, and then once you've done the outline around all the stamped shapes and around the line of the box, you then want to colour in everything that's in that box, okay? So that the whole lot of it will have this sort of misty moonlight background. If it looks scaggy because you've only got one colour and you haven't sort of blended it, no problem, just go back over it with the same pen that you're currently using until all the colour seeps into each other and it looks like one uniform background on it. It will also look slightly different when it's dried, so bear that in mind. And what you might also want to do is, if you're using a desk or sort of a precious piece that you're actually colouring or working on, then just pop a scrap piece of paper underneath, because as you go over it more with the darker colours, it will start to seep through the basic white cardstock. Dark colours of the blends do tend to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this is I'm just going to pop you back on very, very quick speed mode so that I can colour in my lovely little rectangle box and get the background coming to life. Okay, I will see you in a few minutes. Okay, once you've finished with that, you want to grab a rubber and rub out the pencil markings that you have on your paper. You only sort of really need to do the corner ones because they're the only ones that are on show now you've blended over the other one, but just take them off. Okay, you want your, or I'm using my Whisper White ink. You could use a refill, but I found that the ink works just as well. And you want to have a block which you just want to smudge in there, very much the same as what we do with watercolouring. So with your watercolour marker, you want to just squish a little bit of water in there, not much, but a little bit. Probably a little bit more than that though, Helen. That was pathetic. Okay, mix the water and the colour in so you get really white water. Use your blend and just tap like that so it picks up all of the water and the white, and it starts splatting the colour onto the card. Okay, now you're going to have to work out what's best for you with this, whether you need more water or more ink. Either way, I'm going to go with a bit more water. Okay, to really get the splats. Okay, so hopefully you can see that we started to get these white blobs all the way along. Okay, to get the bigger ones, just keep adding more water so that your paint marker is extra juicy. If you want to add more white, you can just go to the corner of your pad just like that and pick the white up and keep going. Okay, keep splatting. Now it's up to you, your desired effect, as to whether you want lots or just a few. I quite like it when there's lots. Okay, if you want the bigger splats, just dot them on, but I generally prefer the more natural splats. Okay, I'm going to just grab myself a bit more white. So I've just wiped off a lot of the water on there and picked up me some more white. And then I'm just really mixing that in now so you can see that's really white water coming through. I'll bring this up to the camera in a minute so you can see exactly what it's doing. I know it's a bit hard when you're a bit away. Oh, don't drop the pen. That could have been a bit disastrous if it had gone on the paper, couldn't it? Okay, so hopefully you can see that I really splatted away. So I'm just going to shove that onto my chamois at the side, pop my lid on there, and while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm just going to do the sentiments. So we've got this really cute sentiment here, which is sending bright wishes for a happy day. I like it. As with all Stampin' Up, we have the cardstock that matches the blend. So I have got a piece of Misty Moonlight just there, got my ink, got my Versamark, got my embossing buddy, and I have my white Stampin' Emboss powder. So off we go. Versamark first. No, embossing buddy first. I know exactly what I'm not doing. Into the Versamark. Stamp. I'm just going to pop a piece of cardstock underneath there to catch any spills. White embossing powder. And then I'm just going to pop that under my heat gun. Okay. Now I'm going to cut it quite tight to the sentiment. Well, I am when I find what I did with my scissors. There they are, underneath the paper. So always a good place to put them. So I'm going to cut it quite tight to the sentiment on the sides, and then I'm going to cut it quite tight underneath as well. So I'm just going to look for the bottoms of those happy and just snip up there. If you're not comfortable with doing sort of straight cutting, then use your trimmer. I'm normally not, but because it was a smaller one, I felt a bit more confident about it. Now this is dry, I'm just going to pop it onto a card base. So I've got my basic white card base here. See, this is what I mean, the colour could have seeped through onto your table or whatever was underneath your Stampin'. So just make sure you've got some scrap paper underneath, that's all. Protect the surfaces. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to pop that on there with a couple of dimensionals. And that is pretty much the card done, which I'm saying it's not because I've actually got some embellishments to put on. Jumping ahead of myself. So let me just pop those on and I'll show you which embellishments I used for this card. There we go. So this is also a sneak peek on the embellishment front. This is the classic matte dots that's going to come up in the January catalogue that comes live on the 4th. You've got white, very vanilla, grey, and you've got black. I'm just going to nick out 3 of the little white dots and I'm just going to pop them at random places on the card. As we did the white watercolour on here, it just made sense to carry on using the white dots just for some extra emphasis. And now it's the card finished. What do you think? I just loved this stamp set, and I do love, if you know me, I love a lot of blending. The stamp set, all of the blends, everything I've used today are available from my store, SlimmandStylish.stampinup.net. As I said, anything ordered after the 1st of January, which is when the new catalogue with this stamp set goes live, will count towards Celebration January and February. So for every £45 you spend, you can get a free stamp set. Thanks for joining me today, everybody, and I will see you soon. Bye. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. All items that I have used on this video are available to purchase from my store, www.SlimmandStylish.stampinup.net. Alternatively, if you would like a copy of our catalogues, please send me an email to slimandstylish@live.co.uk or leave me a comment below and I'll get in touch with you. I upload regular content to this channel, so if you do enjoy watching my tutorials, please make sure that you have subscribed and rang the bell to get notifications when new videos go live. Thank you for joining me and have a lovely day.